Hi and welcome. Welcome to this 60-minute class. It's a Vinyasa flow that focuses on the hips, especially focusing on hip flexors and adductors. We will work both on strength and flexibility on those parts of the body. For the class, you will need a blanket and 2 blocks, and I will see you shortly on the mat. So when you have your props ready, have the blanket over to one side, the blocks towards the front of the mat. Come and lie down on your back. And we will begin with just a moment of stillness with the eyes closed, the body resting in any comfortable position. So as we take a moment of stillness, simply become aware of being here. Become aware of your body in the position that it is in this moment. Become aware of the floor supporting you, the walls around you, the ceiling. And then also become aware of the breath. Notice it coming in and going out. And as we rest with the breath for another couple of cycles, now make your inhales longer and your exhales complete. And again, breathing in and breathing out completely. Now at the end of your next exhale, open the eyes and bring your knees into the chest. Give your knees a good squeeze and rock side to side. And then keep your right knee into the chest, release the left leg on the floor. And we'll hold on to the right knee here, reaching through the ball of the left foot. So you're stretching the left leg really long. And then also reach the left arm up and back behind you. So you're long through the entire left side, from the fingertips down the whole body, all the way down the toes. Hold it here, take another breath, really stretching through that left side. And then on your next exhale, relax the left side. So bring the left arm down by your side. Press down gently through the left heel. And then relax the right arm too. Now you're going to straighten the right leg up towards the ceiling. So as you straighten the leg, of course, it's absolutely okay if it doesn't go fully straight, but as straight as you can have it. And then think about moving that leg just with the strength around the hip towards you, so that it's not going away from the body, but it's coming in close towards your chest, towards your face, as close as you can have it. Good. Hold it here, just one last inhale. And then exhale, bend the right knee. Release the right leg down, left knee into the chest. Now stretch the right leg nice and long. Reach through the ball of your right foot. Then reach also through the right hand, fingertips stretching back, toes forwards, hold it here. One more inhale, and then as you exhale, relax the right side. Right arm down, left leg up. Good, and then again, the left leg as straight as it can be, and pull it in close to you. So we do this to activate the muscles in the front of the hip, and to start to also switch on a little bit our center. So hold it for the last breath in, and then breathe out, release, bend the knee, and release both legs down to the floor. Shake them out, let them go. Good. Now bring both knees back into the chest, soles of the feet together now, open the knees wide. Take the hands to your feet, press the soles of the feet together and pull the heels down to your pubic bone. Now open the knees wide. So think about lengthening inner thighs, opening up through the space around the groin, pulling down with the heels to deepen the stretch. Good, we're here for a couple of more breaths. And then we'll add one more thing. So flare the elbows out, and then inhale, prepare, exhale, lift head and shoulders off the ground. And now with the elbows pressed gently onto the inside of your legs. So you're lifting head and shoulders, You're pressing the elbows on the inside of the legs, creating a little bit of force here with your arms pressing into the legs. But what I'd like you to do now also is to squeeze your legs into your arms so that you're lengthening the inner thighs, but you're also engaging them a little bit too. Hold it for the last breath in, and then come down, breathe out. Bring your knees back together, rock side to side, relax, release. Good, let's take the hands behind the knees, rock yourself up and down the spine a few times. And then with the next one, let's go all the way up into seated. Stay seated, take the fingertips behind you. Now, just the fingertips on the floor, so they're lightly touching the floor. Use them to press the floor away and to lift your torso. And then lean back into the fingertips, into the sitting bones, and start to lift the shins. Now bring your arms forwards. Start by holding onto the back of your thighs and continue growing tall through the spine. Keep your chest and your thighs close to each other and keep that sense of reaching up through the very top of your head. Hold it for the last breath in, and then breathe out, cross your right ankle in front of your left. So your legs are crossed, bring your fingertips in front of you, and then see how it feels for your hips to be in this position. If this is already feeling like it's a lot, stay here. If you want to go a little bit deeper, maybe bring the forearms down, maybe rest the head towards the ground. And then you can also decide to sway your torso side to side if you want, so that as we add a little bit of gentle motion here, we can get a little bit deeper into the outside of the hips. We're only here for another breath. Good, and then let's come back to center. Lift head and chest. Bring the fingertips behind you again, lift the chest. Come back into that boat pose, but then this time take the arms in line with the shins if possible. If you feel that you're collapsing, you can also hold onto the back of your knees to help being in a better shape. But otherwise, arms in line with the shins, top of the skull lifting, chest lifting, looking at the big toes. We are here for a couple of more breaths. For now, the knees are bent, and then later on in the practice, we will practice the straight leg variation of boat pose. Last inhale. Now cross your left leg in front of the right, and then again come forwards to a point where you feel that you're feeling some sensations around your hips. You know that you can be still, or you can add some motion side to side, so you decide. Good, and then let's come back to center if you're moving. Lift back into your boat one more time. Shins parallel to the ground still. Squeeze your inner legs together. So your legs are not just simply in the shape, they're really active. They're pulling together towards the midline. Your hip flexors obviously are working actively to keep the legs in this shape, but also your inner thighs are active and engaged in this position. Just the last inhale. And then let's transition into tabletop. So you can cross the shins and come forwards onto hands and knees, or you can take the knees over to the side to do this, but end up onto your hands and onto your knees. Spread the fingers wide, ground the knuckles at the base of your fingers. And then check your alignment, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. On your inhale, drop the abdomen, lift the tailbone, lift the chest and the gaze, gently stretching the abdomen. And then exhale, pull the abdomen in and up, round the spine, push the floor away. And again, nice and slowly, 4 more times. When we do this slowly, we can really feel the different parts of the spine move. We can have a sense of how the spine is doing, if there are areas of tension, areas that feel a little bit more stiff, potentially. So even though the movement is very simple, take it as an exploration and a way to get to know your body better. There's always so much more we can find out when we pay attention. This is going to be your last exhale into cat pose rounding. And then back into a neutral position. And from your neutral position, tuck the toes, come up into downward facing dog. So as this is our first downward dog, let's take a little bit of movement on the spot. Bend one knee, straighten the other leg, and then switch. So as we pedal on the spot, we have a chance here to warm up our feet, the back of our legs. As we stay a little bit longer, we press strongly with the hands into the floor, lengthening the spine. Good, hold it here, a couple of more pedals side to side. Maybe by now the back of the legs feel like they're letting go of tension and they are a little bit longer and more comfortable in your downward dog. So finish with the last side and then come back into stillness in your downward dog. Let's bend both knees for a moment, bend them a lot. Now lift your hips high to the sky, draw the lower belly in, look back between your feet. And then keeping the spine nice and long, now straighten the legs and drop the heels. It doesn't matter if your heels come all the way down or not, but let them move towards the ground. Hold here, take another breath. And exhale. Good, now look between the hands, step your right foot all the way between the two hands. Drop the back knee to the ground briefly, lift the arms, inhale, low lunge. And then exhale, hands down, step back into downward facing dog. Nice and simple, second side, left foot forwards, right knee to the ground, simple low lunge, inhale, hands to floor, downward dog, exhale. Good, and then from here, shift forwards into plank, inhale, plank. Hold your plank, spread the shoulder blades apart. So think about the back of the shoulders, moving away from the spine. Press down strongly with your pinky fingers into the floor. But also, of course, with all of the other fingers. But with your pinky fingers, as you press down, I find that it helps you to feel that you're really spacious through the back, through the shoulder blades moving away from the spine. So one last inhale, and then drop the knees, bend the elbows. Let's do our first one here with the knees down, slowly coming all the way down for a modified chaturanga. Inhale for cobra, chest forwards, press the hands down, and now with the hands, pull back. So pull back a little bit towards your feet. Feel as you do that, your spine has a little bit more movement available. Your chest comes forwards a bit more. And then push back, downward facing dog. Take an inhale, downward dog. This time exhale, drop the knees to the mat and now take your blanket. So blanket or anything else you can use to pad underneath your knees. We're going to have it folded and just place the knees on the blanket, come back into downward dog. Okay, so this is going to be really helpful as we do a few lunges now. Look between your hands, step the right foot forwards. Let's begin with the back knee lifted just for a moment. Up on fingertips, lengthen the spine. So wiggle the left foot further back. Lengthen your chest, your spine, your head forwards, and then gently rock forwards and back. As you do this, the focus is on the front of your left hip. So see if you can feel that the front of your left hip is getting a good chance to lengthen, to release any tension. So today we're working both the strength and the lengthening of our hip flexors and also our inner thighs. And as we do that, of course, we're also doing a little bit of everything that our body does. So we move the whole body always in yoga anyway. Now, release your back knee down to the mat and now come up into a lunge. I want you to have the front knee right on top of the ankle and the back knee right below the hip. So you're into a 90-90 position. One hand to the lower belly, one hand to the lower back. And then with the hand on the lower back, you're going to lengthen the tailbone down. So really press gently down onto your tailbone, onto your sacrum, I should say, and press down towards the tailbone. Then feel that you're lengthening your tail, even though you don't have a tail, but imagine you do. Press down and lengthen your tail towards the floor and slightly underneath. As you do that with the other hand, pull your lower belly up and feel as you pull the lower belly up how this little adjustment of lengthening tailbone, lifting pubic bone creates so much more opening through the front of the left hip. So we're targeting those hip flexors. So stay here, maintain that lengthening down action of the tailbone, pulling up of the pubic bone, and then bring the hands in prayer. Good. Now squeeze your left glutes as well. That also helps. Then reach your fingertips up to the ceiling. Reach and stretch with your middle fingers. Imagine you are going to touch the ceiling. Hold here, take another breath in. And then breathe out, bring the hands back down into prayer. Now open the right leg so the foot is at least as wide as the mat. And then you're going to keep the heel on the mat and the toes turn out 45 degrees. Okay, right hand onto the right thigh, left hand onto your left hip, and now we'll move side to side. So we're gonna go diagonal over to the right foot, shifting the weight to the right foot, and then shifting it back onto the left knee. This is where the padding underneath the knee can really be helpful. So let's give again for 3. Forwards on the breath in, back on the breath out. For 2. And for 1. Good. Back to center. Now take that right foot even further back. So the heel is in line with the left knee and the toes are pointing straight out. So from this position, again, right hand onto the right thigh, left hand onto the left hip, goes side to side. So earlier we were moving diagonally, now we're moving straight out to the right and back to the left. Good. For the last 3. For 2. And for 1, now hold it. Right forearm onto the right thigh. Have the palm of your right hand facing up. Then left arm up and over the head and stretch it all the way over to your right. So as you stay, with the right forearm, press the right thigh away. With your right ribs, feel that you're lifting and not collapsing towards the leg. Hold it here, breathe in and out, and keep that sense of lengthening the tailbone down for now and pulling up the lower belly and the pubic bone. Good. Hold here, 1 last inhale. And then exhale back to center. Take the hands to the mat. Come back with your knees onto the blanket. Inhale here, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale for downward dog. Exhale for downward dog. So before we do the other side, inhale forwards, plank. Hold your plank, spread the shoulder blades apart. Inhale 1 more time. Exhale, either knees down or chaturanga, lower slow and controlled. Cobra or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, exhale. Breathe in where you are. And breathe out. Look between the hands, left foot between the 2 hands. Right knee is going to stay up at first, up on fingertips. Rock forwards, inhale. Rock back, exhale. So you're really shifting forwards. Shoulders come even further forwards than your hands and then shifting back onto the back foot. Again, for 3. The area of focus is the front of the right hip. Last one. And then drop your right knee down, come back into that lunge with a 90-90 alignment. So 90-degree angle between thigh and shin, both in the front and in the back leg. And then 1 hand to lower back, lengthening tailbone down. The other hand to lower belly, pulling it up. Hold here, right glutes are switched on, and then hands in prayer. Hold here, breathe in. And breathe out. Stretch your fingertips high to the sky. Imagine you want to go and touch the ceiling with your hands and feel as you stay here and you engage your fingertips, everything is really all connected. So as you stretch your hands, you have that long line of energy coming down the arm, the torso, the front of the hip. So it's adding on a little bit more of that lengthening through the front of the hip. Last inhale. And then hands in prayer, exhale. Good. Let's take the left foot wider to the left. Toes are going to go off the mat, heel on the mat. 1 hand to thigh, the other hand to the hip, and then rock sideways diagonally. Good. For another 3. For 2. And for 1. Back to center. Pull the left heel further back again. So the heel is in line with the right knee, toes straight out to the left, and then go side to side, over to the left, and back to center. For 3. For 2. And for 1, stay. Forearm onto the thigh, right arm up and over, lengthen the right side of the body. Press away with the left forearm. Breathing here, 3 more breaths. Last inhale. And then exhale back to center, hands down, knees down. Take a breath here. Exhale. And then before we do anything else, just move the blanket out of the way so that we have space to move now freely on the mat. Come back into downward dog once you're ready. And then from downward dog, bend the knees, look forward, step or float to the front of your mat. Come up to a halfway lift. Inhale, chest forward, sitting bones back. Fold and release, exhale. Inhale to standing, reach up, stretch up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands in prayer. Find mountain pose, Tadasana, arms by your sides, standing tall, grounding down the feet, lifting up through the top of the head. Good, and then from here, inhale the arms up. Exhale and fold, forwards and down. Inhale, halfway lift, chest forward, sitting bones back. Hands to the mat, right foot back. Keep the back knee lifted, come up, high lunge, inhale. Hands down, plank, exhale. Hold plank, inhale. Knees down or straight chaturanga, exhale. Cobra or up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Right leg lifts, 3 leg down dog, inhale. Right foot forwards, back knee stays lifted. Press into the floor, high lunge, inhale. Hands down, Uttanasana, exhale. Ardha Uttanasana, inhale. Refold, exhale. Up to standing, inhale, reach up, look up. We'll do the second side, fold, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Hands to the mat, left foot goes back. Push, lift, high lunge. Solid foundations through the legs, hands down, plank. Hold it, inhale. Bend the elbows, exhale. Open chest, roll the shoulders back and down. Down dog, exhale. Hold it, breathe in. Breathe out. Left leg to sky, inhale. Left foot between the hands, exhale. Press to lift, inhale. Hands to the floor, step forwards and fold, exhale. Halfway up, breathing in. All the way down, breathing out. Inhale to standing, reach up, stretch up. Exhale, hands in prayer. Now slightly different. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Take the hands to the mat, step back into plank. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower through your vinyasa. Remember, you always have this option of lowering the knees, taking a cobra, downward facing dog. Breathe in, down dog. And breathe out. Now we're adding on some floor work. So bend the knees, look between the hands. Either a step or a jump into a seated position. Come all the way down into seated, stretch the legs in front of you. Legs are straight, heels grounded, sitting bones grounded, hands resting lightly onto the side of your hips. This pose is called Dandasana, stuff pose. So from stuff pose, we're going to bend the right knee, hold onto it, bring it really close to you. Then point your left toes and lift your left leg a little bit off the ground. Drop it down. Lift the left arm now and take your right hand behind you. Inhale, lift up, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Left elbow outside of right knee. Breathe in into your twist, elongate the spine. Breathe out, come back to center. Hug your right knee again. Point the left toes, lift the left leg. Lower it back down. Inhale, bend both knees. Exhale, lift back into both pose. Good. Option here to stay with the knees bent or to work with straight legs. Breathe in wherever you are. Breathe out, bend the knees. Now straighten your right leg. Hold onto your left knee, pull it into the chest. Point your right toes, lift the right leg a little bit off the ground. Absolutely okay to keep it bent as well if that helps. Right arm up, inhale. Twist to the left, exhale. Breathe in here. Breathe out, come back to center. Hold onto the left knee, point your right toes, lift the right leg. Good, lower it down, bend both knees. Back into the sitting bones, back into your boat. Either with the knees bent or with your legs straight. One more inhale, cross, downward dog, exhale. Hold your downward dog, take a breath in and a breath out. Now you will become very familiar with this sequence because we are going to do it twice more. So same movements, twice more. Breathe in, stay. Breathe out, step or float to the front of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Refold, exhale. Inhale to standing, reach up, stretch all the way to the ceiling, look up. Exhale, hands in prayer. Now, inhale the arms up. Fold, exhale. Halfway lift, inhale. Hands to the mat. Now, if you are familiar with jumping into the vinyasa, you can press into the hands, hop back, either into plank lightly or straight into chaturanga. Cobra or up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Hold it, breathe in. Breathe out. Now, if you're trying to jump but you're not quite sure, let's break this down a little bit. So you're going to bend the knees, lift the lower belly, look between your hands. You're going to really press down through your hands, super strong through your shoulders. Now, as you hop, you lift the lower belly and you cross your shins into the air. So keep looking forwards, keep pressing the hands down, hop, cross, land. Legs forwards. We'll try again later as well, okay? So, Dandasana, staff pose. Hold it here, tuck your chin slightly in, lengthen the back of the neck, breathing here, and then bend your right knee, squeeze it. Left toes point, inhale, lift them, exhale. Drop down, lift the left arm, breathe in, twist to the right, breathe out. Inhale here, exhale back to center, hold onto your right knee, pull it into the chest, point the left toes, lift the left leg, drop it down, both knees bent, both pose, hold it, inhale. Both feet down, exhale. Right leg straight, left knee bent. Hold on to the left knee, point your right toes, lift the right leg. Drop it down, inhale, right arm up. Exhale, twist. Breathe in. Back to center, hold onto the knee. Use it to help you lift the chest. Point the right toes, lift them. And then drop them. Bend both knees, both pose. Option knees bent or legs straight. One last inhale, downward dog, exhale. So I did say you would become familiar with this. And as we do it again one more time in a second, that will be even better. So you can really focus on the breath. You can really focus on one breath, one movement, doing the movements with a good alignment. And that will be your focus because you know what you're doing. Take one last inhale. Bend the knees, look forward, step or float to the front of the mat. So again, if you're floating to the front of the mat, same principle. You need to really trust your hands and then lift the lower abdomen, landing lightly. Halfway up, inhale, fold and exhale. Up to standing, inhale, reach up, look up. Hands in prayer, exhale. Let's take a breath in mountain pose before we do it one last time. Inhale here. Exhale here. Final time like this. Arms up, inhale. Fold, exhale. No rush. Halfway lift, inhale. Hands down, step or float into your vinyasa. So take your transition. We meet in downward dog when you're ready. We stay in down dog, take a breath in and out. And then look between the hands, bend the knees, step or float into a seated position. Legs are straight, Dandasana. Seated stuff pose. Hold your stuff pose here. Good, feel the lower back lengthening and all the way into the back of the neck, the crown of the head lengthening. And then bend your right knee, hold onto it. Left toes point, lift the left leg. It doesn't matter how high, lower it down. Left arm up, inhale. Twist to the right, exhale. Breathe in, still lifting and lengthening the spine. Back to center, hold onto the knee. Point, left toes, lift left leg. And down, both knees bend. Boat pose, inhale. Both feet down, exhale. Switching sides, right leg straight. Hold onto the left knee, point the right toes, lift and drop. Right arm up, inhale. Twist and over to the left, exhale. Inhale here. Exhale to center, hold onto the knee. Last time, point your right toes, lift them, drop them, bend both knees. Both pose, inhale, downward dog, exhale. Hold your downward dog, breathe in, breathe out. And this time, drop both knees, sit back, child's pose, and rest for a few breaths. So let your breathing now slow down and lengthen. Take one more full inhale and complete exhale. Good, let's come back into downward facing dog. And from downward dog, lift your right leg up for a 3-leg down dog. Briefly bend the knee, roll the hip open, take a little twist, looking underneath your right armpit. Your left hip is open. You're already maybe feeling a good stretch in the front of the left hip. Now, we'll go into pigeon pose. So right shin comes forwards. And instead of going down and folding into pigeon, we're going to stay up. So you can be on fingertips, but also if you have blocks, I find that it's nice to get a little bit more of a lift here for the purpose of what we're doing in this moment. So sometimes we go into pigeon with different intentions. Well, in fact, we can always do poses with different intentions. The idea here is that we're giving our hip flexors now a chance to lengthen after all the strengthening that we did when we were lifting the leg. So if you have blocks, use them. Press into the blocks with your hands. Keep the shoulders relaxed and down. But feel all of that space in the front of your left hip. Engage your left glutes to help the front of the hip release and relax. Good. We're holding for 3 more breaths. For 2. Collarbones are open and spacious. For 1. Good. And then let's move the blocks for a moment. Transition back into downward facing dog. And one more time, lift your right leg up. Bend the right knee, roll the hip open, stay. Take a moment here, pressing the floor away with the hands. Now both feet down, downward facing dog. Second side, lift the left leg up. Bend the left knee, roll the hip open. Look underneath your left armpit. Both hands, press the floor away. All 10 fingers actively connected to the ground. And then shift pigeon pose. Left shin comes forwards. Again, instead of going down, we stay up. Blocks would be my suggestion. And if you take the blocks forwards like this, then you reduce the amount of opening through the front of the hip. So walk them back so that the blocks are more or less next to your hips. And then from there, think about lifting through the front of the right hip, the lower belly, the chest, the head. Breathing here, 3 more breaths. On your next exhale, release the blocks, leave them over to one side. Hands down, 3-leg down dog, left leg is the one that lifts. Roll the hip open, stay. 1 inhale. 1 exhale, and then both feet down, downward facing dog. Good. This time from downward dog. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, step or float into malasana. So feet wide outside of your hands. Hands in prayer. Press the palms together, lift the chest. And now with the elbows, do this action. Think of pushing out. So the elbows are on the inner knees. They press the knees open. The palms press together, the chest lifts. Now, as you stay here, keep doing everything that we said. So palms press together, elbows push out. But now with your knees, gently squeeze your elbows. So you're again lengthening the inner thighs, but now you're also adding on some engagement to the inner thighs. So they're having to work in their strength too. So hold here, feeling that dual action of the muscles lengthening, but also engaging at the same time. We'll do the same action in a couple of more positions. So fingertips to the floor, release Malasana, feet parallel, fold. Lift halfway, inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Inhale, come up to standing, reach up, stretch to the ceiling. Exhale, the hands in prayer. Inhale, lift the arms out and up. Exhale, fold back down. Halfway lift, inhale. Hands to the mat, right foot goes back for a high lunge. Lifting, inhale. Transition, warrior two, exhale. So turn, ground your right foot and stay in your warrior two. Just one breath in and then release the arms, straighten the left leg. Parallel the feet. Take the hands to the hips. Inhale, open the chest, squeeze the back of the shoulders. Exhale, come down and fold. Release the hands down, relax the head, the neck, the spine. Couple of nods of the head, yes. Gentle shakes of the head, no. And then up on fingertips, look forwards. Turn your toes out and your heels in. And then bend the knees into a wide leg squatting position. So see if you need to get your feet slightly closer or wider depending on your proportions and alignment. And then from here, you're going to stay low. So your hips are reaching back rather than down. So not like Malasana where they come down, but reach back. And then with your forearms, go and press onto the inner knees. And then with your hands, wrap around your shins. So as you stay here, hips are reaching back, head is reaching forwards, belly's pulled in. You're going to press the arms into the legs and open the legs with your arms. But now with your legs, squeeze towards the midline. So you're squeezing into your arms. So hold it here. Look straight down at the floor. Neck is in line with the rest of the spine. We're breathing here for 3 more. For 2. If it feels like it's hard, it's because it is hard. Last inhale. And then fingertips down. Feet parallel. Exhale. Release down. Let go of the head, the neck, the spine. Good. Back up on fingertips. Different now. Toes out, heels in. Bend your right knee. Come down into a side lunge. Fingertips over to the right leg. And then just like you just did, right forearm onto the right knee. Right hand onto the shin. The other hand can be on the floor. And then send your hips back. Send your chest forwards, your head forwards. And stay. So it's basically half of what we just did in that goddess position. We're just doing it on one side, but at the same time, we're also in a lengthened position for the other inner thigh. So it's stretching in a different way. Good. Let's go back to center. Do the same on the second side. So left forearm onto the left knee, hand wraps around the shin, right hand stays down. Send your hips back. Think as if you wanted to send your pubic bone and you're growing back, but not down. Good. Then arm is pressing the leg open, leg is squeezing into the arm. Hold it here, 1 more breath. That's nice. And then come back to center. Frame the front foot, step back into plank. Inhale, chaturanga or knee down version, cobra or up dog, down dog. Breathe in, down dog. And breathe out, down dog. Inhale, bend the knees, look forwards. Exhale, step or float, Malasana, feet outside of the hands. Hands in prayer, just like we did earlier. Press the palms together. Push the knees open. And now with your left arm, go on the inside of your left leg. With your right arm, stretch open diagonally and stay. Left arm is pressing the left arm is pressing the left knee open, and the left knee is squeezing a little bit into the arm. So same resistance we had in the previous couple of positions. Back to center, hands in prayer, second side. Right arm down, left arm up. Back to center, fingertips to the floor, feet parallel, and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale to standing, reach up, stretch up. Hands in prayer, exhale. Now for the second side, inhale the arms up. Exhale, refold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands to the mat, left foot goes back. Press, lift, high lunge, inhale. Warrior 2, exhale. Now you stay as you are. I'm just going to turn around so that I'm facing the camera. So warrior 2, inhale, straighten the front leg, parallel the feet, hands on hips. Inhale, open chest, look up, down to a flat back, and then fold all the way, release the hands. Relax the head, nod it yes and no. And up on fingertips, look forwards, toes out, heels in. Bend the knees into that goddess squat. Hands wrap around the shins, elbows press the knees open. Torso parallel to the ground. You know all of this now. So stay, breathe in, breathe out. 2 more. 4, 1. Fingertips down, feet parallel, fold, release. Release the head, the neck, the spine. And then again up on fingertips, look forwards, toes out, heels in. This time we'll go for Skandasana. So bend your left knee, walk the hands over to the left foot, lift your right toes up. If this is a problem for your knees or ankles, do what we did earlier instead. So you'll go into that side lunge. But if you're okay here, left arm inside of the left leg, right arm open, and stay. And release, come over to the other side, same pose, second side. Opening the chest. Okay, and then let's come back to center. And this time we stay at the center. Open the feet as wide as you wish to go into a little bit of a deeper stretch here with the legs wide. So depending on your range of movement, you might be able to take your forearms down maybe, or to rest your forearms onto blocks, and then relax the head and stay. We have 4 more breaths. Breathing in through the nose, out of the nose. For 3. So working those inner thighs, keeping them nice and lengthened. If you feel that you can go a little bit wider for the last couple of breaths, you might want to do that. But then as we start to come out, we'll do this really gently. So wiggle the feet slightly closer together. Take the hands to the floor, and then one last time into our Vinyasa, shift forwards into plank. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees down or chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Inhale, downward dog. Exhale, drop the knees, child's pose. Hands to the feet, forehead to the mat, and stay. Take a few deep breaths, expanding through the lower back. One last inhale and one last exhale. Okay, now from here, let's shift forwards onto the abdomen. So come all the way down onto your abdomen. Flare your elbows out to the sides of the mat, and then rest your head down onto the hands. Start with the feet about hip distance apart, and just take a moment here. Rock the pelvis side to side, relax the lower back. Good. Now we're going to add one more thing. So your left hand is going to stay down. Your right hand is going to reach back, bend your right knee and catch the right foot. Your heel is being pulled in towards your bum. And with your left forearm and hand, now press the floor away, lift your chest just a little bit. So as you hold it here, you're stretching through the front of the thigh and also helping to stretch through the front of the hip. So breathing, it's not really about how far you go into your back bend, but it's more really through the release of the hip that we are interested. Last 2 breaths. 4, 1. And then gently release, switch sides. Same thing, second side, bend the left leg, catch the left foot with the left hand, and then support your lift with the right hand and forearm. Press them down. Last 2 breaths. Good, and then release all the way down. Take the hands under the shoulders, lift into a cobra, and then sit back onto your heels and just shift the legs in front of you. So now we want something to elevate our hips. So depending on the props that you have, you might just roll the blanket and make it into a thick roll. Or if you have blocks and blankets, you can use blocks and blankets together. So you're going to have your props ready to the side. If you have blocks and blankets, you can take your blanket on top of the blocks just for a little bit more softness. And then let's all start lying down. Your props are ready on your side, knees bent, feet on the floor. And then you're going to take whatever you're using to elevate your hips and slide it right at the back of your pelvis. A little bit as if you were doing a supported bridge position. So if you have a yoga bolster, maybe you can use a yoga bolster, but not many people have that. So use what you have. And then you're going to start here, just making sure that your support is not in your lower back, but right down at the back of your pelvis. So that is really important, okay? So just make sure that you are there. And then you're going to bring your right knee into the chest and squeeze it. And straighten the left leg. And it doesn't matter if your left foot touches the floor or not. It really doesn't matter, okay? But keep squeezing your right knee close to your body. If you feel that you're here, you're already feeling sensations down the front of the left hip, and this just feels like it's plenty, stay. If you want to add more, stretch your left arm back and over the head, and then tense your left side like we did at the start of this practice. So you'll be stretching your left fingers back, your left toes forwards, creating space and length through the front of the left hip. We're staying for 3 more breaths, wherever you are. 4, 2. Breathing in for 1. Good, and then release. Bend both knees, feet on the floor. Left knee into the chest. Right leg straight to begin with. Maybe stopping there. Maybe stretching the right arm over the head and then tensing the right side if that feels like it's what your body needs. So wherever you are, breathe through the sensations. Final breath in and out. And then release both feet down onto the mat. Okay, let's slide the blocks out of the way and the blanket or whatever else you used out of the way. And then bring your knees into the chest and move into a happy baby. So soles of the feet to the ceiling, knees down to the armpits, legs nice and wide. And then from happy baby, you're going to pull your right heel in towards the pubic bone and now stretch your left leg out to the left. You can hold onto the back of your left leg with the hand, or you can hold onto the foot if that's easy for you to do and you can reach. So many options. If you have a strap, you could also strap around the left foot and hold onto the strap. So do what works for you. Try and stay even between the right and the left in terms of the position of your shoulders and pelvis. So you shouldn't feel like you're rolling over to the left. Good. Hold it where you are. One more breath. And then back into happy baby. Now switching sides. So left heel down to the pubic bone. Right leg straight out to the right, holding onto the leg or the foot. Good. And as we stay here, we are still keeping the back of both shoulders even, the back of the pelvis even, into the mat. Let's come back into happy baby. And then one last pose. Open both legs wide. Take the hands onto your inner thighs. Close the eyes and just stay. At some point, your legs will start to shake. That is fine. It's nothing to worry about. If you need more support, you can hold the legs up with your hands or even place blocks on the outside of your thighs to give the legs a little bit of support. So see where you can be for the next 5 breaths. Now let's all take the hands on the outside of the thighs. Help the legs close together and then bend the knees, bring them into the chest. Arms open on the level of the shoulders, both knees to the right for a simple twist. Head to the left. Back to center and switch sides. All the way back to center, and then prepare for Shavasana. So if you'd like to grab some socks to keep your feet warm or use a blanket for more comfort, do what you need to do. Set your body up for 5 minutes of relaxation. I will guide you from seated. So get comfortable and then we will begin our relaxation in just a few seconds. The good thing about doing this at home is that you can really use anything you have available to make your Shavasana as comfortable as it can be. So take the time to do that. And when you're ready, come and lie down into stillness and close the eyes. We will begin our Shavasana with 3 conscious breaths. So consciously inhale. Fill the lungs all the way up. And as you exhale and let go of all of the air, feel the body sinking down into the ground. And just like that, twice more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Feel the body releasing its weight down. The bones, the muscles, everything is supported. One last time. Inhale. Exhale, let go even more. Feel the floor there to support the weight of the body. The earth ready to welcome you. As you are held and supported, there is nothing else that your body needs to do. Being here, being still is enough. As you let the body rest in stillness, we keep the mind present and awake by going through a body scan. So invite your attention into the back of the head. Notice its contact with the ground. And then from the back of the head down the back of the neck. the right shoulder blade, right arm and hand, the left shoulder blade, left arm and hand, right side of the back, left side of the back, back of the pelvis, back of the right leg, back of the left leg, right heel and left heel, bottom of the feet, front of the feet, shins, knees, thighs and front of pelvis, abdomen and front of ribs, chest and neck, the whole of your head and face, the whole body. Your awareness is resting into the whole body. Now start to pay attention to the breath. Observe it coming in and going out. Make your next inhale longer, your next exhale more complete. And then gently awaken the body, moving fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Turn the head to the right and to the left. And then bend the knees, bring them into the chest. Gently roll onto one side and pause there. Take a breath on your side, notice how you're feeling. And then gently come up into a seated position. Sitting in a way that is comfortable for you, hands together in prayer, thumbs at the center of the chest. We end the practice with a breath. We inhale, and on the exhale, we bow down to our heart. Thank you. Thank you for practicing.